If you want to look expensive, but you don't want to pay a fortune to do it, you're going to love this video. So I'm going to break down 3 simple style tips to help you look like $1,000,000 for less. Hi ladies, it's Erin and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I share simple style and beauty tips for women to look and feel amazing at any age. Today, I want to focus on how you can get that really sophisticated, elegant, old money aesthetic with your style without breaking the bank. I'm gonna share 3 really simple and strategic style ideas to help you nail it every single time. Before we dive in, just wanna say a huge thank you to Quince for sponsoring this video. If you're a regular viewer, you know that we've partnered with Quince quite a bit. I'm a big fan. I only partner with brands and businesses that I love. And Quince is great because they bring amazing high quality products, well-constructed, beautiful fabrics to you, the consumer, for much less affordable, accessible prices. So you don't have to spend hundreds or thousands on designer labels. You can buy those amazing high quality basics through Quince, and you'll see a lot of their pieces peppered throughout the video. And in terms of sizing, I would say it runs a bit large. I tend to size down on most pieces. Okay, shall we get started? Let's do it. Tip number 1 is choosing quality over quantity. And it seems pretty straightforward and pretty obvious, but there are so many times where we're either scrolling or we're shopping online or we see something online and we think, oh, that's such a great price, I'm gonna grab it. It might not be the best quality, but I'm gonna try it anyway. And then you may put it on, it might be great for 1 wear, 2 wears, and then by the 3rd time you've washed it, it looks tired, it's balled up, the fabric is a train wreck, and you're probably never gonna wear it again. That's the stuff I used to do when I was younger and just got sick of it. Like, got sick of the waste and just like throwing things away, basically. Like, they weren't even nice enough to donate. I really want you to focus on quality over quantity. That's really a key to nailing this old money look as well. So one of the things that I did learn through shopping at Quince is that there are different grades to cashmere, and they use grade A Mongolian cashmere, which is one of the finest quality cashmeres that you can buy. And what I've noticed, because I've had a lot of their cashmere sweaters for an extended period of time, and I usually am pretty tough on my sweaters. Like, I'll just notice it start to ball up and then I'll get my sweater shaver. This is an example of a Quince sweater that I've owned for a while, and on the bottom is where I would tend to ball up, and there's not a single ball. It's ball free, for lack of a better term. Anyway, so really high quality cashmere. It's going to make a difference in terms of the longevity of the piece and also just how wonderful it looks when you wear it. Just go for something that's a higher quality. So grade A cashmere would be one example. Another example is an organic cotton. This is a striped sweater by Quince that is made out of a really lovely, hefty, organic cotton. You know, when you're looking at your garments, if there's any loose thread on the garment, that's a red flag. You can tell when you look at a garment if it's constructed well or not. So really pay attention to those details. Look at the fabric, look at the seams, look at the details to really hone in on whether it's a piece that you're gonna have and you're gonna wear over and over and over again, and also that you're really gonna enjoy wearing when you do wanna have that more sort of sophisticated, timeless look. I think quality is absolutely critical. I think it's worth noting, you don't have to buy a ton of clothes. You really can keep things very minimal as long as you have those high quality key basics that I always talk about. So those are your foundation pieces, then you can build on top of those. But you have the pieces with the basics to then mix and match other pieces with. By the way, if you don't know what those wardrobe basics are, we do give out free wardrobe basics checklists when you sign up for our newsletter. The link to sign up is in every single description box. One thing I just wanted to say is that while I think that I'm a long way away from being perfect on this front, I do try to avoid buying things that are super cheap and that have maybe sketchy manufacturing, sketchy fabric. I just don't feel good about wearing that stuff anymore. So, you know, I know sometimes that means the pieces I'm featuring are higher cost. You can buy so many fewer pieces, just nicer, higher quality pieces. Quince is the perfect place to kind of have both, to have the higher quality and the accessible price point. Tip number 2 is to master monochrome. If you want to look luxe, elegant, old money, quiet luxury, however you want to say it, look expensive, you need to master the monochromatic look. While black and navies and darker colors are great and certainly can work, and they're also very slimming, I do think that if you're going for that more old money look, I would go for a lighter color palette. So I wanted to show you an example of a tonal look that I think looks very luxe, very classy, very elegant, something that you could wear to the office, something that you could wear to dinner, you could wear to an event. It just has this real effortless elegance about it. Okay, so this is the old money uniform, if you will. These are certainly the basics for that uniform. I'm gonna add a few pieces to it. So you've got the stretch silk blouse. This one is by Quince. Some pleated trousers, also by Quince. These are a little long on me. I triaged them just for this video, but I'm gonna have to get about an inch hemmed up unless I wanted to wear a really high heel, which I really don't. So I'll get about an inch taken up on these trousers. They have really nice deep pockets, very comfortable, very lightweight. These are an extra small, I believe. So I would say they run a little bit on the large side. It's a really great neutral color. So a monochromatic look doesn't have to be an exact match. You're using colors in the same color family. So I could even go lighter on the trousers, but I wanted to show you these new Quince trousers. So there's a couple things that you can add to this look to really give it that old money aesthetic. You could drape your blazer over your shoulders. And for this season, a linen blazer is a really nice way to go. Obviously, linen is very breathable and gonna keep you cool. I would say when you are going for the old money look, less is more. This bag would be a perfect example of less is more. You've got the strap that can turn into a shoulder strap or crossbody. Not a lot of hardware otherwise. Pretty simple, pretty chic, right? Very functional, it's versatile. I love the color. There's not a lot going on here. It's a very simple bag. Then of course you need to have some amazing sunglasses. You can go for an oversized pair or a classic sporty pair. I think with this look, it's more on the glamorous side, so I would go for an oversized glam pair. I added a little bit of personality with the jewelry, so I did add a necklace. I added a hinge bracelet that's lucite and gold, and then this really cool belt. It's a little bit bigger, like if you want true, elegant, classic timelessness, I'd go with a more slim belt that's a little more classic. I wanted to add some personality to it because otherwise it just feels like kind of uniformy to me. So I did also add this little lacy cami underneath, opened it up a bit, have the cool belt, the bag, you know, the jewelry, the oversized sunglasses. So just these little touches, for me, it gives it a little extra pop. Another great piece for your tonal look is a classic trench coat. The trench is a timeless fail-safe. It always looks gorgeous. It always looks old money. It always looks sophisticated. So when in doubt, get your trench coat out, right? So you could have on a pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt and you put on a trench coat and all of a sudden the outfit is elevated and looks so much more polished and pulled together. But I do think it's such a lovely finishing touch with this silky blouse and the pleated trousers. I've worn this exact look in Europe. Instead of the heels, I swapped them for a platform sneaker in a neutral color, and I really enjoyed wearing that in Europe. So if you have a trip to Europe planned, I do think this is a really lovely outfit for, you know, walking around the big cities when you want to really feel great and feel elegant and not so much like a tourist. One other important thing I want to mention about mastering monochromatic looks is that it doesn't have to be a specific matching set. You can vary the tones. They don't even have to be the exact same color. For example, you've got bright white and then you've got off-white and a stretch silk blouse. That's excellent. It actually adds interest, depth, and I think sophistication and style to the look. Then you layer in there textures. So we've got silky and denim, and you know, in the fall winter you could have something that's feathery or furry, giving it more interest and creating more of a really kind of like effortless look that actually takes effort, because they always do. But yeah, so don't be afraid to ditch the matching set and create your own tonal look using those different tones and textures. Tip number 3, strategic accessories. It's Easy to dismiss these smaller details, but really it's the smaller details that will help you achieve this look. And accessories are a huge part of that. So with your jewelry, I would say go for gold or pearls in a small to medium size. You don't want anything, as I mentioned before, too large and oversized. You want it to be large enough that you can see it and has some impact. You could do a layered dainty look. That's also very elegant, very timeless and classic. Belts, you know, just nothing too, again, oversized, over the top. You want something that's pretty minimal, simple. So here's a great example. This one is minimal, but also modern. The shape of the buckle is quite cool, but it's a slim size too. It's not like a big old chunky belt. With shoes, I would say go for a skinny heel, like a stiletto or a kitten heel, versus a big chunky block heel when you want to look more elegant, look more luxe. And again, just something that's really simple, not too over the top. Like when you're going for this look, it's not the time to pull out the like statement shoe with the butterfly and, you know, wild colors. Those have a place, but if this is what you're trying to achieve, I would go for minimal and sleek. So here's an example of a pair of shoes that is timeless, elegant, and sophisticated. You can see the skinny heel and sleek, minimal, not a lot of details, but still very elegant and interesting. Closed toe is a little more elegant and refined than, let's say, open toe. Doesn't mean you can't do open toe. It's just, if we're going for this all-out elegant look, definitely a closed toe shoe with a slim heel. With your bags, this one is by Quince. It's quilted. It does have this really cool crossbody and shoulder bag functionality. Where does the shoulder bag, or kind of fun, crossbody. For our elegant lady look, we're going shoulder bag. So the keys with your handbag is structure versus slouchy, minimal hardware, nice neutral color, high quality. So this is not a designer bag. It looks like one, but it's not a designer bag. It's a high quality leather. It's beautifully constructed, and this looks timeless and very polished. With your sunglasses, I would go for classic shapes like an aviator. Here's a version, a modern aviator, because it's plastic. It has more of that sort of square shape versus the more round classic pilot aviator. So this is a very classic pair of frames. You could do the oversized pair of sunglasses if you have more of a glam outfit on. I would try to stay within that like classic frame, neutral color zone. If you're a hat person, you can play around with a hat. That could be incredibly chic to wear a hat. It's just one example. The other thing you can play around with is a scarf. Scarves are a wonderful accessory that can definitely elevate. I love to put the scarf over the trench, you know, and you can use it, sort of drape it over the trench. If it's really lightweight in the spring, summer, you can just kind of, you know, tie it once around the neck. Depending on the shape of the scarf, the material of the scarf, you know, if it's a really small one, you could tie it to your handbag, you could tie it around your neck, you could do a smaller one, silkier one as a belt. So don't be afraid to play around with scarves, which also are very luxurious looking. Bonus tip for you: anything draped over the shoulder. Blazer draped over the shoulder, trench draped over the shoulder, sweater draped over the shoulder. So instead of just tying it around your waist like this, which sort of cuts the body in half, try over the shoulder. And then there are all these ways that you can style the sweater if you want. Like you can do this thing here, just like the little cup, and then you can just do one tie. That's the zone I like to be in. The other thing you can try is over one shoulder. Sometimes easier if you have a bag, you know, you're wearing it on your shoulder. You gotta play around with it a little bit. Yes, creating quiet luxury look, anything draped over the shoulder. Okay, let's talk about what to avoid when you want to achieve that old money aesthetic. Number one, wrinkles. I am the worst offender. I really don't like ironing, but I do have a really great portable steamer now, which we will link below, and that helps me to get the wrinkles out. If I can't get them out with the steamer, I'm out. I can't do it. Wrinkles will really kind of destroy the whole overall look in a hurry. Definitely avoid wrinkles. I would say overdone grooming. There's nothing wrong with going big. I mean, go big or go home. That's your style and that's what really lights you up. You should do that. But if you want to really achieve this old money aesthetic, I would go, again, less is more, smaller versus bigger. So, you know, don't do the like big long nails, pointy nails, huge hair, lots of makeup, lashes, you know, all of that will distract and detract from that old money look. I would say anything that's too oversized in terms of accessories will again take away from the elegance, the overall timelessness of your look. Too many logos or really over the top logos. So if you've got logo shoes, logo bag, or a printed logo piece with a logo, it's just a lot. So when you're going for that more expensive look or that more classy look, I would definitely choose things that are more understated, that don't have obvious logos. Think Succession. Again, neutral colors over bold colors and prints is going to help you achieve that look a lot more easily. I would say anything bohemian, because really with that old money luxe looking aesthetic, you want to be tailored and minimal and streamlined. And so anything that's too flowy or too bold or printed, oversized, billowy is going to take away from that look that you're trying to achieve. And then lastly, I would say chunky boots or shoes. I would go with a kitten heel, a flat, a loafer like I showed you in this video. You could go for a stiletto, a sculptural heel, anything that's more on the classic, elegant side versus a big old chunky combat boot, for example. Okay, let's recap. We covered a lot of ground. It may have only been 3 or 4 tips, but there was a lot packed into each tip. So the first tip, quality over quantity. Avoid the temptation of buying that fast fashion purchase that you know is going to fall apart after a couple washes. It's not worth it. Think about cost per wear. Number 2, mastering monochrome. And specifically if you're going for that old money, quiet luxury look, I would go with a neutral monochromatic look similar to the one I'm wearing now. Number 3, strategic accessories. So it's nothing too bold and too overpowering. You want subtlety, but you also want impact. Minimal, not a lot of things going on, and structure. Okay, so like structured bag, maybe a minimal gold necklace, minimal gold bracelet, bangle, minimal belt, nice elegant shoes. So remember, strategic accessories. And the last one, the bonus one, was the sweater, the blazer, or the trench draped over the shoulders. It is a very, very elegant look. Huge thank you to Quince again for sponsoring this video. Huge thank you to all of you for being here and watching. As per usual, we will put links to everything we featured in this video in the description box below. I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised by the prices and the quality. You'll see. Anyway, thanks again. Love y'all. See you next time.